Hey everyone, this is Keith Scott from out in Sydney, Australia. I'm one of the voices of Bullwinkle J. Moose. It's time to watch Relentless and Unstoppable. And so give it up for your main hosts, Douglas Kenny and Andy McPhee.
Hey everybody, this is Doug Kenny and welcome to Relentless and Unstoppable. We have another amazing guest coming on the channel today, so please hit like and subscribe. And after this episode, please stay tuned to the RNU channel for more amazing guests. Let's get this on!
Hey everybody, how you doing? Just a quick little share of why I started Relentless and Unstoppable. It was for one very simple reason, because of Doug Kenny. Nothing to do with me at all, zero. I was just coaching Doug, and he took on the coaching and mentoring, and he made all the changes. He took all the suggestions from his parents as well as my coaching, but it was all about Doug, his breakthrough and his weight loss, his willingness to accept that he is dealing with high functioning autism and other issues, but he's never quit, he's never given up. So we did one interview with him to share his story, and then we decided to start interviewing other people. And Doug has now taken over the whole channel, and he does all the interviews, he runs everything. He's just an amazing young man. So RNU was born from simply what an amazing young man Doug is, and his story needed to be shared.
Hey everybody, this is Doug Kenny from Relentless and Unstoppable. First of all, I want to say that I'm really grateful to God and Jesus for the protection that they gave me earlier this week on Tuesday when I had my accident. It was the scariest and most intense car accident I've ever been a part of, and I dealt with a lot of pain and am still bruised and confused and a little bit of confusion and all that. And I would never wish this upon anyone, and I'm very grateful that everybody else involved in the accident is all right and okay, and I'm on the road to recovery. I'm very grateful to God and Jesus for allowing me to be relentless and unstoppable for another day. And, hopefully safety will continue to advance when it comes to driving automobiles. And for those who have seen previous statements I've made over the years about Matt Kenseth intentionally wrecking Joey Logano in a NASCAR race, I want everybody to know that I take it all back, because the pain I went through in this accident, I would never wish upon anyone, not even drivers that I'm not a big fan of in motorsports. So I'm very grateful to everyone who reached out for support, to support me. And I'm grateful that for all the messages and all the phone calls I received. And I'm going to continue pushing on and moving on from this bad day that I had earlier this week. So yeah, welcome to Relentless and Unstoppable with our guest, Alena Wright. How you doing?
Great. Hi, thanks for having me.
No problem. We're pleased to have you. So where are you at the moment?
We live in Hawaii on the Big Island.
Nice. What's it like over there?
Oh, it's wonderful. It's so incredibly beautiful. Yeah, it's mostly sunny and warm. We had some rain earlier today, which means we get rainbows, which is really special.
Yeah, that's amazing. And do you have a lot of volcanic activity out there too?
We do. I live on the Big Island of Hawaii. So we have a volcano that's almost always active, Kilauea Crater. I don't know if you can see the lava flow right now, but often you can go and see it.
Yeah, for sure. And Mauna Loa erupted last year, didn't it?
That was pretty exciting. We were all waiting to see if it was going to cause damage or not, but fortunately it didn't. It was very gentle, and it's breathtakingly beautiful when you get to witness it.
Yeah, it was the first eruption since the 1980s, I believe. Yeah, so what are you known for, and what do you do?
I teach yoga, so I've been teaching yoga a long time. I guess I would say that's what I'm known for.
That's amazing. Yoga. It's really, really, the techniques are awesome in mental health and all that.
It's so good for mental health to get into your breath, to be in your body. And it's wonderful because it is accessible to everyone, regardless of your age or your ability. And I love to teach classes to all kinds of different people.
Yeah, what's your favorite stretch you like to show people?
Oh, my favorite stretch. I like when you take one knee into your chest and you take it across your body and you do a spinal twist. That's a good one.
Yeah, how long have you been teaching it?
20 years.
Yeah. Has it helped many people?
Oh, it's helped so many people. So many people. And I teach now a lot of times in the hotels. So I teach often to people who haven't taken a lot of yoga. Maybe it's their first class. But I hear often people come to Hawaii. Some people get to come, a couple times a year or every year. But I've had more than one person say that they started taking a class with me and then they went home and they started taking yoga and now they've been practicing for a year or something. It really changes how people's bodies feel, how their minds feel.
That's incredible. So, what was your upbringing like?
Oh, my upbringing. My mom was a preschool teacher growing up, and my dad worked at a bank, but he was also an actor in community theater. So there was a lot of creativity in my home, and my parents are very supportive, very warm. We all love to cook together and bake. I would say it was very wholesome. They were very supportive. They're still very supportive. I maybe have made more unconventional choices than them, but they are very supportive and they just really allow me to be myself. And that's what I want to provide for my son too.
Yeah, tell us a bit about your young boy.
My son is 12 and he's wonderful. He is the light of my life. He is smart and articulate and kind and happy, and he's like a tween, so we're in a new chapter and it has its challenges, and mostly he's just really a wonderful person. I enjoy raising him. It's my favorite thing that I get to do.
That's amazing. What has his journey been like up until his autism diagnosis?
Well, I'm a single mom. His dad passed away when he was 4. So that was very challenging. And he did have some behavioral issues, mostly not with me, but with other people. And I had a lot of compassion for him because I love him and I know him. And also, I think it's very hard to know how kids process trauma. And of course, that was very difficult. It was a very difficult time. So he may have gotten diagnosed earlier had we not had that happen, because some of the behaviors I just thought, well, he's angry and sad. Like, of course, I'm angry and sad too, but he doesn't have the impulse control because he's just a little kid, which is all true. But it also, we talk a lot about feelings and I'm very honest with him. And he started going to play therapy when he was, right after that happened. And I think that really helped him. Whenever people talk to him, they're like, wow, has so much vocabulary about how he feels. He's so articulate. People are almost always very impressed with him.
That's amazing. So, what was his education like?
His education, well, education has been the thing that I really feel like is really the greatest challenge. And I'm sure it's different places. Each state, each community has their different kinds of school. Hawaii is known for many things, but it's not known for its public education. But I can't really blame any of that on being here because we've had trouble with schools the whole time. He's not a typical type of learner. Most of the schools, it seems like it's designed to, you sit in your seat and it's rote learning and it's not a lot of hands-on. He's very analytical. He's good at hands-on learning. He's incredible with robotics and coding and that kind of thing. So I put him in a lot of that kind of like projects, after school programs and fall camps and summer camps and things like that. But as far as the traditional schooling, it's been really hard. It's been really, really hard.
Has he dealt with bullying at all?
I've kept him, I've homeschooled him quite a bit, and I have found there has been some bullying with kids. I would say a majority of the bullying has come from adults, though. And so maybe we use a different word than bullying, but a real lack of understanding, lack of compassion, unrealistic expectations, projections. It's been very frustrating. I've definitely had many tearful phone calls and meetings. There's been a lot of, it's been frustrating.
Yeah, I can imagine. Has he been excluded from activities by people just because of his disability or not disability, but different ability?
I like that you're calling it a different ability. I think that's a more accurate description. When he was in second grade, there was a kid that he liked in the class. And for whatever reason, the child's family didn't want their son to play with him. And so then the whole school supported this decision. And so his teacher would have to keep them separate if they'd be out on the playground and he wanted to play a game that everyone else was playing, or even if he was playing a game with everyone and that boy wanted to play, they would make him sit out. He wouldn't be able to play the game. And even they'd play this game where they'd have their thumbs up. And if, he wasn't even allowed to touch this kid's thumb in the game. And if they had a substitute, I know I want to cry talking about it. It was so hard. It was so sad.
Yeah, that's wrong.
And I wrote to the school board. I talked to the principal, and nobody, I didn't get any support from anyone. They were just basically like, that's the way it is. And when they'd have substitute teachers, all the kids would be like, they can't be in the same group. They can't talk to each other. So it was really ostracizing for him. And he's just such a sweet person. He's really a kind, loving person. And he just, wants to connect. And it was really awful and really discriminatory, really unfair. So that's what I would say the largest case of bullying. There's been other examples, but that one was really supported by administration, supported by the teacher. I went to the teacher and she was kind of like, well, it doesn't come from me, comes from higher up than me. I just have to support this or whatever. And it just in my mind, it was so discriminatory. I just couldn't figure out how this could happen,
Gee, that's all we have for Relentless and Unstoppable. So tune into the next episode to hear more amazing stories from amazing guests. This is Keith Scott from Sydney, Australia saying so long, and I'm smarter than the average bear. Gee.